resume. The parliamentary status is that Congressman Paduano moved for the to cite Roina Garma in contempt for violating Section 11, Paragraph C of our Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation. And it was duly seconded. When the chair asked if there are any objections, there was an objection raised by Congressman Abante. And the chair asked Congressman Abante what his objections were. And there was a short exchange of statements coming from Congressman Abante and Congressman Paduano until the chair moved for a suspension for 1 minute. Now we resume our hearing, and may I know what is the pleasure of Congressman Abante?
Well, Mr. Chair, upon our discussion, I will withdraw my objection to the motion, Mr. Chair. But I would like to ask questions.
Yes, you may do so, Congressman Abante. The motion was withdrawn. Let us now proceed to vote on the motion to cite Roina Garma in contempt. So again, it was duly seconded. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Let me just state for the record the parliamentary status. There is a pending motion on the second motion wherein there was a discussion as to where we will detain GM Roina Garma, whether in the premises of the House of Representatives or outside of the premises of the House of Representatives. And there was a motion made by Congressman Gutierrez stating that she will be detained at the Women's Correctional Center in Mandaluyong. And we'd like to...
Mr. Chair.
Is that in relation to the motion?
Yes, because we have an information that we can now accommodate our resource person here in the premises of this House of Representatives. So thereby, we'll be requesting Congressman Gutierrez to amend this motion.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to move to amend my motion again, given the development that the LSP has imparted to us that the House facility can actually entertain another detainee. I therefore amend my motion, Mr. Chair. And I'd like to move instead that in relation to the contempt order of Colonel Garma, that she be detained in the House detention facility, and the term to be determined is that until the termination of the hearings at the Quadcom.
Okay, there is a motion.
Second motion.
The first motion is to detain her in the premises of the House of Representatives. And another motion is for how many days, Congressman Gutierrez?
Mr. Chair, until the termination of the hearings at the Quadcom.
So she will be detained until the termination of the Quadcom in all its hearings. Okay,
Mr. Chair,
Congressman Akop.
supposing the hearing is not still terminated and she will tell the truth, what is the... Can she be released from detention?
Certainly, Congressman Akop, the violation she has committed is in violation of Section 11, Paragraph C, wherein she refuses to answer and cooperate, and she tries to evade answering the questions propounded by the members. So if she changes her mind and she suddenly cooperates, then the committee will be more than willing to accommodate her motion for reconsideration. Is that all right? Does that satisfy Congressman Akop? Thank you. So the motion to detain GM Garma in the premises of the House of Representatives until we terminate the hearing by the Quadcom. Duly seconded. Any second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Duly seconded. Any objection? Hearing none. The motion is approved.
Okay, now I'll ask you a direct question po, Colonel Garma. During your stint as PCSO chair, how would you describe your relations with General Barayuga?
Okay naman po, nag-uusap naman po kami. Wala po akong
No conflict?
None, Mr. Chair.
None. So you were not the subject of any of the investigations that were being conducted or something?
No,
Ano naman?
Mr. Chair. I could recall, Mr. Chair, nung pag-upo ko, naalala niyo po na pinatigil po lahat ng laro. That's where the President gave instruction na mag-conduct ng thorough investigation. And to my understanding po, ang NBI po ang nag-investigate. And lahat naman po ng hiningi nila, binigay ko rin naman po. I just don't know po kay Board Sec kung ano naman po yung requirement na kailangan niya i-submit as far as yung board naman is concerned, Mr. Chair.
So you would describe your working relationship as professional and cordial
Maganda
naman?
po, wala po
Maganda
kaming
naman.
conflict. Yes, nag-uusap po kami.
So if you were to
recall.
ask people in the PCSO and they would describe your relationship as ganun din sa how you described it?
Yes,
na
Mr.
okay naman?
Okay naman, Mr. Chair, kasi wala po. Nagre-record lang naman po yan during board meeting. It's the board who discusses all the sensitive issues. Him as the board of the, secretary, he just takes note.
Okay,
Wala
so
naman po.
wouldn't it be like, how would you siguro react upon hearing the testimonies of Colonel Mendoza that it was Colonel Leonardo who gave the instructions to Colonel Mendoza na galing daw sa iyo ang utos sa pagpaligpit kay General Barayuga?
Nagulat lang po ako, Mr.
Nagulat
Chair.
lang.
I didn't expect it po.
So this is the first time you heard na you are being implicated in the death of General Barayuga?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
First time?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You never heard about it before? Kahit sa mga marites o chismis sa PNP?
Hindi, Mr. Chair.
Hindi. Okay. So you were never also investigated by any law enforcement agency as far as the death of General Barayuga is concerned?
Wala po, Mr. Chair.
No one asked you questions?
Wala po akong maalalang may nagtanong po.
Okay. Now that you heard the testimony of Colonel Mendoza, now na Colonel Leonardo supposedly directed him to do this operation on your behalf, ano ang masasabi niyo kay Colonel Leonardo po if it is true na siya ang nagutos?
Mr. Chair, hindi ko po alam yung sinasabi po niya. I cannot speculate, Mr. Chair.
I'm not saying it's Mendoza. I'm saying that he was saying it was si Leonardo. Kung totoo yun na si Leonardo, how would that make you feel po? No, Colonel Garma.
I cannot speculate, Mr. Chair, because the statement of Colonel Mendoza will lead to a crime. And
Okay.
I do not want to make a statement that I'm not sure whether it is right or wrong for
Isn't
now,
that
Mr.
precisely what makes it more interesting? That an active serviceman would put his career at risk and testify before this committee, admitting to some wrongdoings na at the behest of, or on your request in that of the instructions of Colonel Leonardo? Don't you find that parang odd at least?
Mr. Chair, I do not know what he is thinking right now, Mr. Chair. And this is the first time. Iniisip nga ako saan ko siya nakita or what. I cannot recall if I met him or what. But ngayon ko lang po narinig din ang name niya, Mr. Chair.
Alright. Attorney Paquera, I'm sorry. I noticed that she's there. And she was your executive assistant ba? Si Attorney Paquera?
Yes, EA6 and designated as the Chief of Staff.
Okay, so she was working with you at the PCSO while this General Barayuga was also there?
Yes, Mr. Chair, nagpang-abot po lahat. Mayor Halili,
Ano
may
yung
mga
kay Mayor
mayors,
sa Calabarzon niya, Tony Halili?
Region 4A.
Yes, anong
Halili.
alam mo sa pagkamatay ni Tony Halili?
He was shot during the flag raising ceremony.
Yes, it was reported.
Sniper po.
So, what do you know about the...
Chismis lang kasi, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
And I think imported. Kasi during that time po sa war on drugs, pwede pong tumawid yung mga operatives
So wala kang direct knowledge about it? Wala kang direct knowledge about it?
Pinagmalaki kasi ng isa, sir, na sila.
Sino yung nagmalaking yan?
Major Albotra, Mr. Chair.
Major
Albotra of Region 7.
Albotra?
Yes.
Of Region 7?
Yes po. Ano pangalan ni Albotra?
Major Albotra na Region 7.
Lieutenant Colonel nata. Yes, pinagmalaki niya sa akin noon. Oh, talaga, sabi ko, how did you do it? So, mga kilala niya, mga kasama niya.
At sila ang nagpapatay kay Tony Halili?
He said he's in the team, Mr. Chair.
So, it's a team that killed Mayor Tony Halili. So, it was
According to
really
him.
a plan.
According to him, Mr. Chair.
According to
During
Major.
that time kasi, Mr. Chair, kung meron ng grapevine, like it would appear na it is a operation, nagkakaroon ng code of silence. It's real talk, Mr. Chair. Sa PNP, tahimik na. Matatakot na yung iba, matatakot na rin. Even RDs would say na, oh, trabaho yan. Oh, kung ano, trabaho. They will just call you and then it became a culture. Minsan i-process kasi mag-intervene ang NBI. Mas nakakatuwa nga kung NBI kasi talagang mas maganda pag ganon. Kaya during my time sa IDG, nasa Cebu City Police ako, tuwang-tuwa ako pag NBI talaga mag-handle. Kasi definitely, magiging maayos po. That is why, sinasabi ko palagi, gusto kong nagka-hands off after the processing ng crime scene ng crime lab. Pag sinabi na victim na they want NBI, binibigay ko po. That's the reality on the ground, Mr. Chair. You can ask mga ground commanders and chief of police.
So again, Mr. Chairman, I would like to reiterate the name of Major
Lieutenant Colonel Albotra na ata.
Albotra. Kenneth Albotra to be invited in the next hearing.
On September 12, 2024, September 27, 2024, I was invited to serve as a resource person during the recent legislative inquiry conducted by the Joint Committee on Drugs.
Ma'am, can you put the mic a little bit closer to your mouth, please?
Yes, sir. During these hearings, I was asked several questions concerning my knowledge or involvement in the deaths of 3 Chinese inmates at the Davao Penal Colony and the death of General Wesley Barayuga, all focusing on the alleged extrajudicial killings of the aforementioned individuals. I was also questioned about my relationship with the former president, as well as my career as a police officer and my tenure as the GM of the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. Throughout the hearings, I answered questions from the committee based on my personal knowledge. However, I did so with great apprehension as I recognized that my statements on national television could significantly endanger my life, the safety of my family, and others close to me. After considerable reflection, I am now executing this affidavit to provide a comprehensive information to the Quadcom regarding everything I personally know about the war on drugs during the former administration. On May of 2016, I received a call from the then President Rodrigo Duterte at approximately 5 in the morning, instructing me to meet him at his residence in Doña Luisa, Davao City. I was already acquainted with then Mayor Duterte, having served as a station commander in one of the police stations in Davao during his tenure. During our meeting, he requested that I locate a PNP officer or operative who is a member of the Iglesia ni Cristo, indicating that he needed someone capable of implementing the war on drugs on a national scale, replicating the Davao model. The Davao model referred to the system involving payment and rewards. The Davao model involves 3 levels of payments of rewards. The first is the reward if the suspect is killed. Second is the funding of planned operations. third is the refund of operational expenses. Initially, I informed the President that I was unaware of any individual with those qualifications as I had not been assigned outside of Davao, nor had I served in a national capacity with the PNP. However, I recalled my upperclassman, Edilberto Leonardo, who was handling the Criminal Investigation Detection Group and was also a member of the Iglesia ni Cristo. I mentioned his name to the President. On the same day, a certain individual named Muking contacted me by the phone to request Leonardo's contact details, which I promptly provided. A week later, I learned from Arthur Narsolis via phone call that Leonardo had been summoned and was instructed to proceed to Royal Mandaya Hotel for a meeting. Leonardo informed me that he stayed at the hotel for 3 days, during which the President directed him to organize a task force similar to PAOK-TF. When Leonardo relayed this information and urged me to join the task force, I declined, citing my lack of experience in handling such operations. Leonardo subsequently informed me that he had prepared a proposal routed through Bongo outlining the task force operations, which would encompass Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. He also inquired if he and his classmates could have a courtesy call with the President through Bongo for a photo opportunity. Considering this, I thought it would be prudent also to invite my classmates, Bakay, Villela, Grijaldo, Tuzon, and Dueñas, to join the courtesy call. The members of Class 97 and Class 96 of PNPA were accommodated in a separate room at the DPWH office in Panacan, Davao. The President did not enter our room, and I was unaware if he visited the room of Class 96. This is 96, sir, not 97. After the courtesy call, Leonardo informed me that the structure of the intended task force would undergo changes. In June of 2016, Leonardo was transferred from Manila to assume the position of the chief of the CIDG in Region 11. During the initial 3 months of this assignment, I facilitated all meetings between Leonardo and Bongo at Leonardo's request. Subsequently, they established direct communications. Leonardo informed me that he had recalled several trusted personnel, namely, I met Lester Berganyo, Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, Michael Palma, and Peter Parungo to serve as operatives for the task force. Notably, Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, and Michael Palma were all discharged as police officers. Romel Bactat and Romel Serbo, Michael Palma were all former police officers stationed at CIDG 11 office. They were discharged from service on or about a year ago due to an operation that led to the killing of one individual. Lester Berganyo is a private citizen, while Peter Parungo was a former detainee in CIDG due to a charge of rape that has been cleared. Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, Michael Palma, and Peter Parungo were charged with the task force of collecting, verifying informations provided by police officers in the field concerning arrests or deaths of individuals named in the list of drug personalities, and creating a summary report. All of these reports would then be encoded, compiled by Lester Berganyo. The compilation is thereafter elevated to Leonardo, who will then decide what level the arrest or killing was and its corresponding reward Rewards were only given for killings, while for arrests, only the funding of the Coplan and a refund for the expenses was given. I saw how this individual operated when I would visit the CIDG office in Region 11 to see my friend Lotlot. He also conveyed to me that the task force would be structured differently, in that he submitted a document to Bongo detailing the task force operation, including an overview of the current drug landscape in the Philippines. I was also informed that the drug structure originated from Bucor, where numerous drug lords are currently incarcerated, and that it has 3 branches, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, with Peter Lim involved in the Visayas region. Once the task force became operational, I later learned that all Coplan funds, refunds for operational expenses, and rewards for agents were processed through the bank accounts of Peter Parungo at Metrobank, BDO, and PS Bank. Concurrently, Lester Berganyo maintained a comprehensive list of the drug personalities in the Philippines. Leonardo conducted briefings for Orpidea, IG, regional directors, and PNP chiefs regarding the operations. Additionally, if any individual died during police operation, Leonardo would report the incident to Bongo for inclusion in his weekly report and request for refunds of operational expenses. Leonardo had the final authority to determine who would be included on the list of drug personalities and to classify their threat levels, as well as the discretion to remove individuals from the list. Furthermore, in 2016, while I was at the CIDG office, following up on personnel appointments, I overheard Superintendent Padilla of Bucor discussing drug activities at the Davao Penal Colony with Leonardo. Padilla specifically mentioned certain Bucor officers involved in the drug trade, notably mentioning an officer named Ginto, who was subsequently killed along with other Bucor members. These are the critical facts I personally know regarding the drug war of the previous administration. I am prepared to provide additional details and information in the supplemental affidavit or during an executive session at the discretion of the committee. I affirm the truthfulness and accuracy of the above statement to assist in the investigation by the Joint Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety, Human Rights, and Public Accounts of the Honorable House of Representatives, the Quadcom. Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, ang tanong ko po dahil naging station commander po si Colonel Garma noong Davao Mayor si Rodrigo Duterte. So ibig sabihin po nun, given her role, ay isa po siya sa mga nag-implement ng war on drugs sa Davao.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, nag-implement po siya nun dahil kasama po siya dun sa mga na-mention kanina from NUPL, yung Davao Boys and Girls. Tama po ba, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, can I explain my answer, Mr. Chair, so that maintindihan po ni Congressman?
Sige.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pakilapit lang po yung microphone
Yes.
sa inyo.
This is how it works actually. Pag pag mag-conduct po ng police operation, kasi po ang police, if the operation po is successful and you file the case in court, you will submit a report sa City Hall monthly at nakalagay po dun na na-file po yung kaso, nakalagay din po yung IS number po, proof na na-file po yung kaso and the details of the case. And once i-submit mo to, yung operational expenses po ay nare-refund. That's 5,000 pesos per case po, per operation. Ngayon po, kung malaki po yung operation mo at kailangan mo ng operational fund, gagawa ka ng co-plan, you will also request po sa City Hall for the funding of that operation plan. Now, in case din po na nagkaroon po ng operation and subsequently po nagkaroon po ng death on the part of the suspects po during a legitimate operation, meron din pong corresponding amount po na binibigay, Mr. Chair. So that is how it works po.
So, Mr. Chair, ibig sabihin ay totoo ngang merong Davao Boys and Girls na nagpatupad ng war on drugs. To confirm, Mr. Chair, tama po. Na yun yung mode of operations as described. Tama po ba? Yun yung kinakonduct. Yun yung ginagawa nitong Davao Boys and Girls.
Ganun po yung sistema po ng how you will refund yung operational expenses. Kung ano po yung tawag nila at ano po yung ipinangalan ay for me it's not relevant as long as yung process on how the funds are being provided po, yun po yung ina-explain ko lang po. If that is how po ang pag-perceive, that's how it is politically described po, then that's it po.
Okay, Mr. Chair, dun sa reward system, kasi nasa affidavit din po, na nire-refund ang operational expenses, tapos may funding din para sa planned operations, ito yung co-plan, tapos may reward din kapag napatay yung suspect. Tama po ba, Mr. Chair?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, may nakuha po kasi tayong impormasyon, although nung mga nakaraan ay parang haka-haka lang siya, pero ngayon na nag-hold tayo ng investigations ay nakakakuha po tayo ng mga sources na pagdating po dun sa reward system ay kapag ang napatay ay isang pusher, yun yung tinatawag na level 1, tapos 50,000 ang reward. Mako-confirm po ba yun ni Colonel Garma, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, I am not so familiar po sa specific amounts. But true, there is a amount po per level. I think Colonel Leonardo can explain po kung ano yung specific amount. Kapag baka magkamali po akong sasabihin na 50 nga o 100 o 1 million yun. But there is a corresponding amount per level, Mr. Chair.
Sige. Mr. Chair, sa information na nakuha natin ay merong 4 na levels. Yung level 1 ay 50K para sa pusher. Kung napatay ay pusher. Kung big time pusher naman ay yun yung level 2, 100K. Tapos kung narco-cops, narco-politicians or protectors ay 300 to 500K. Tapos kapag trader, manufacturer, chemist, yung mga ninja cops or mga financiers, yun yung level 4, 1 million yung reward kapag napatay sila. Familiar po ba iyon kay Colonel Garma? Yung ganong leveling and amounts?
May amount po, Mr. Chair, from what I understand, starting 20,000 to 1 million. But I'm not familiar sa mga bracketing po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, yung 20K, yun po yung mga street level or mga small time na natatag na involved sa drug trade. Tama po ba?
Most likely kasi yun po yung pinakamaliit na amount as far as I know, Mr. Chair.
And to compare, Mr. Chair, yung mga napatay dun sa Davao Penal Colony ay dahil ang kanilang task di umano dun sa drug trade ay yung pagiging mga chemist. Kaya kapag ganun, level 4 sila. Kaya naging 1 million per head yung presyo, kumbaga, or yung reward para sa pagkapatay sa kanila. Tas dahil 3 sila, kaya 3 million. Tama po ba, Mr. Chair?
Hindi ko po alam, Mr. Chair, hindi ko nakita kung magkano kung talagang mayroon pong na-classify sila kung anong level, ay hindi ko po nakita kasi.
Pero you can confirm na yung pinakamataas ay 1 million.
As far as I know, Mr. Chair.
Kaya, Mr. Chair, dun sa pag-i-implement ng war on drugs on a national level, dun sa pakikipag-usap ni Colonel Garma kay former President Rodrigo Duterte, sinabi ba niya na meron siyang layunin na yung Davao model ay i-implement sa buong bansa? May ganun po ba, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And Mr. Chair, dun sa ganitong plano ay on loop po doon ang incumbent senator na si Bongo. Tama po ba?
Mr. Chair, I didn't get the question. Kindly repeat po, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, doon sa plano na itong Davao model ay implement siya sa buong bansa. Based sa naging affidavit, gusto nating ma-confirm na mayroong papel din dito si Senator Bongo. Tama po ba?
Sa aking understanding, it would appear, Mr. Chair, kasi po siya ang minimit ni Sir Leonardo.
Mr. Chair, kapag may napatay na suspect dun sa drug trade, kanino unang nire-report yung mga instances na merong napatay?
Sa ground kasi may gagawa ka ng report, Mr. Chair, spot report. And then, meron pong phone number na na-disseminate sa lahat po ng RD, PD, Chief of Police, kung saan po tinetext po yung result ng police operation. And these phone numbers are handled, hinahawakan po ng mga tao po ni Sir Leonardo.
Mr. Chair, since naging bahagi po si Colonel Garma ng war on drugs sa Davao, familiar po ba siya or alam po ba niya kung meron ding kompetisyon sa iba't ibang mga police station sa number ng mga napatay? Lalo na't kung meron palang reward na napatay yung isang tao as compared to inaresto lang. So meron bang ganong tipo ng kompetisyon among police stations?
Wala po, Mr. Chair, during our time.
Mr. Chair, pagdating naman sa kung paano na-incentivize yung mga iba't ibang police stations or police officers, ano po yung mga pamantayan dati para masabi na ang isang police station ay effective sa pag-conduct niya ng war on drugs?
Meron kasing sa amin noon sa Davao kasi po, it depends po kasi sa station na hinahawakan mo kasi naka-profile na po yan kung anong classification po ng drugs, kung infested po ba ng drugs yung mga barangay. So meron na pong projection po kasi meron po kami noong tinatawag na yung may baseline po kasi kami na naka-establish during that time. So projected po kung ilan ang possible arrest mo every month, Mr. Chair. But of course, dumarating din po yung point na wala ka na mahuli o sobrang baba. Depende kasi sa performance din ng patrol sa area as part of preventing po yung occurrence po ng illegal drug trade. So mamimili ka lang naman mag-ooperate ka o intensify mo ang police patrol para wala kang mahuli at hindi po matuloy mangyari ang bentahan po ng droga. You just choose between the two naman po.
Kaya Mr. Chair, yun yung tungkol sa reward system kapag may napatay na mga suspect. Kahit nga, we would like to underscore na mga suspect pa lang yun. Mr. Chair, pagdating dun sa funding ng mga planned operations, sino po ang nagpa-fund ng mga ganong operasyon, yung tinatawag na co-plan batay dun sa affidavit?
What I understand pong alam ko po, pag malalaking police operation, the case operation plan ay sinasubmit po kay Sir Leonardo for funding. And I think si Sir Leonardo po maka-explain kung saan po galing ang pondo, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, sa pagkakaalam ni Colonel Garma, meron bang mga private individuals or corporations na nagbibigay din ng, kumbaga, we can say, donation para sa ganitong mga planned operations?
I'm not aware, Mr. Chair. Wala akong alam po.
Mr. Chair, pare-pareho ba yung amount na binibigay para dun sa kada operation na kinoconduct?
Hindi ko rin po alam, Mr. Chair, kaya hindi ako ang nag-evaluate ng mga co-plan. Basta ang alam ko lang, sinasubmit po sa kanya and siya po ang magpapacilitate for the funding, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and Mr. Chair, dun sa pangatlong tipo ng itong paggamit ng pera for these plans, yung refund for operational expenses, ano-ano pong mga tipo ng expenses ito? Kasi kung nire-refund siya, ibig sabihin, meron munang nag-aabono. Ganun po ba ang sistema sa pag-conduct ng mga operations? Nag-aabono muna yung mga involved na mga police, tapos saka sila manghihingi ng refund?
I will explain further, Mr. Chair. Yung real McCoy kasi sa ground, Mr. Chair. The real talk po tayo sa ground. Talaga namang wala pong ponto talaga. Mag-aabono ka talaga. Pati bypass money, mag-aabono ang chief of police dyan para mamarkahin yan. Kung minsan nasusunog na itatakbo, wala na. Tapos wala kang mahuli, hindi mo talaga marirefund yung pera mo. So talagang abonado ang chief of police at saka mga operatiba. That is why in Davao, once successful po ang police operation na file mo ang kaso, may IS number po, proof that you filed the case, i-refund po ng 5,000 pesos yung mga expenses like photocopy, bypass money, payment for the agent, pagkain po ng suspect pag dinala mo po sa court, kasi maghihintay ka rin, tatagal ka rin sa korte. So those are the expenses which is very decent enough naman. Just enough para lang maibalik at ma-refund po yung mga personal expenses na nagastos po ng chief of police o ng mga operatiba during police operation, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, dun sa mga nagpapa-refund for operational expenses, saan o kanino kinukuha yung mga pang-refund na mga amounts?
Are we referring to the national scope, Mr. Chair? My question lang, or Davao?
Sa Davao, Mr.
Davao
Chair.
noon, we have to submit the after activity report sa City Hall po. And then may pipirmahan kang voucher na marirefund yung lahat ng expenses.
How about nung naging national na or nationwide na yung scale ng implementation ng war on drugs? Kanino din kinukuha yung refund?
Lahat po ay kay Colonel Leonardo, Mr. Chair.
Meron po bang pumilit sa inyo para i-execute itong affidavit na to?
Wala po, Mr. Chair. It took me 1 week to make some reflections po.
And what pushes you to execute?
I realize the truth will always set us free, Mr. Chair. And at least I will be able to contribute if we really want to make this country a better place to live and for our children. I think we have to do something para maibalik po yung trust sa PNP, magkaroon po ng reform sa PNP, And yung tiwala po ng mga tao, whether victims of criminals sa gobyerno.
Kanina po may sinasabi kayo na natatakot kayo sa buhay niyo at sa pamilya niyo. Saan po kayo natatakot?
Of course po, it's normal, Mr. Chair, when you speak the truth, you cannot please everyone. And it's normal to anybody to have that mixed emotion. But still, it took me 1 week to make reflections. And I realized I need to do my part po.